titled La Famiglia, right?
Yes,
Correct?
yes.
All right.
Thank you. Sweet. Thank you. Have you guys ever bombed speaking at your grandma's funeral? No? Must be nice. I come from a very Italian American family. You know, they're kind of like my cousin Vinny, kind of Italians. Okay, you guys know. Sunday sauce. My aunt's kissing me on the lips. It's a little too Italian for my blood. But that's where I come from, and I was in my immediate family. I'm an only child, but my extended family, I'm one of 9 of cousins, and to me, I would go see my cousins, and they were loud, they were passionate, they were emotional, and I was just like, wow, I just wish I could be like them. They're so cool. That's how I thought my cousins were, and I was so shy. And I remember when I was a kid, I'd refer to my cousins as the cousins, and I would say to my dad, I'd say, "Can I go see the cousins?" And he'd be like, "Sure." And he would take me, and one time he took me, and I was like, "No, you took me to the wrong cousins." And he goes, "I thought you wanted to see the good cousins." And I said, "No, I want to go to the bad cousins." The bad cousins were fun to hang out with. We'd wrestle, we'd watch TV late, we'd play video games, we'd argue, we'd eat candy. It was a great time. I loved hanging out with them, and they would bring out the most in me, that argumentative, which is probably bad, but I loved it. They brought out that passion, they brought out the fun in me, and like I remember we were kids. Me and my cousins Daniel and Francis. All we had was a film clacker. It's just one of those things where you write scene 7, take 5. And for 2 hours, we made a movie. And then I asked my cousin Francis, I was like, "Do you have the movie?" And he goes, "We don't even have a camera." What are we doing here? We're just having fun. And I was like, I guess. And it was fun. But I remember, and that's my family. I was like I said, I was shy, and that's how my family would get me to stop being like. I would be nervous in the beginning. I'd come to my family events and I'd be nervous, and to ease me out of my own discomfort, they would do what they thought was nice. They would tease me. They would ball bust. All right, all right, not a good word. They would tease me, and you know, they would say stuff like, they would call me like a string bean, and they would say I have gross toes, and they said. They would call me, they called me Thalone the Bone, because one time I was in the swimming pool and an air pocket got into my swim trunks. My dad still calls me Thalone the Bone, which seems like fucking crazy. It doesn't seem appropriate, but that's us, you know. And I wanted to, and I feel like when I was with them, I was myself. Or as much as myself as I wanted to be. I was like the myself that I wanted to become. And then I would hang out without them, and I wasn't that guy. I was shy again, I was nervous. And I eventually started to get a little bit less nervous, but I just could never capture that lightning of like, I'm always comfortable, I'm always on. You know, like I'd say something funny and I'd try to follow it up, and it would flop, or I'd annoy somebody. So I started to take improv classes, as one does, and the reason I did improv instead of stand-up is because I figured with improv, if I'm going to perform badly, at least I won't perform badly a badly written speech that sounded even worse. So I did improv, and eventually I got into stand-up, and I love stand-up, and I thought I was good at it. I definitely thought I was good at it, and I realized I wasn't. My grandma, she passed. She was the matriarch of our family. She was the capo tutti capi. All right. More words we don't know. She was the head of the heads. She was the head of our family. And when she passed, so many people came to see her because we had so much family. She was like a legend at work. Apparently, she was the receptionist at a law firm. And you would have thought she was the CEO, the way that people were coming and speaking about her. And we had her funeral, and then we had our dinner at a restaurant, Palermo's, in Astoria, Queens. And it was great. Everyone's speaking. Everyone's giving these emotional, passionate, fantastic speeches, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't know. I don't want to speak really. So everyone speaks. We start eating chicken franchise and chicken marsala and chicken, and it's great. And then my cousin Lauren, she nudges me. She's sitting next to me. And she goes, "You have to speak, because I didn't speak, and I need you to speak because you're good at speaking." And that was like a drug to me. It was like, I'm good at speaking. I guess I'll riff a fucking speech right now. And I get up to speak, and all my experiences with stand-up. So it's really not applicable to this, because I go up there and I'm not emotional, I'm not vulnerable. I wish it was ephemeral. It was the worst speech. All right, I'm sorry. It was awful. I tried. I was too jokey. I feel like I said something like thank God this wasn't an open casket. I don't even know what I'm saying. I blacked out, and then I got clapped off in the middle of the end of the. I couldn't get off, so I got clapped off, and then. But my cousin Lauren, she gets up to speak, and she gives a speech, and it's heartfelt, it's emotional, it's Italian, it's everything that speech is supposed to be, where they start laughing, but then they're crying, and then they're laughing again, and they're crying again, and the better she does, the worse I feel, because I'm like, this fucking sucks, and I'm getting red, and she finishes her speech, and then people are coming up to her. And they're congratulating her, and they're kind of looking at me and walking away. I'm sitting right next to her, and I'm trying to avoid eye contact with my own family. It's the worst feeling. And eventually my Aunt Camille, she's like my closest aunt, she comes up, she says, "Lauren, that was a great speech." She goes, "Theo, please don't speak at my funeral." In my head, I was like, "You don't have to worry about that, because I feel like I'm going to never see you guys again." And so that is the reason I'm here today, is because I want to work and learn how to speak more emotionally, more vulnerable, more passionate, and more contextually appropriate. And I don't have, I don't know how many times I can practice at grandma's funerals. Just not that many of them. And, but so thank you so much.
Theo. I forgot to mention that was Theo's icebreaker, very appropriately titled La Famiglia, so very funny. All right, so it's time for